setting here to take the stage. Ryan, take him away.
What's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me and you can hear me. What's up, Natalia? Nice to have you back on this call. We've got Trudy from my team. We got Zach from Head of Logistics. And it looks like we got Michelle and Becky and Margarita and Martinas and Mohammed. You got to turn these cameras on or I'm throwing you out of this Zoom room. That's our policy here. And you know what, Zach and Trudy, I always find it's the good-looking ones that keep their cameras off. Never makes sense to me. So turn those cameras on, show us those beautiful faces. If it was me, I would always have my camera on, just, showing the world. And so look, today I want to talk about what's going on here on the ground in Dubai, because according to the news reports, I shouldn't even be here. But when I go outside, the kids are playing outside. The stores are stocked. And I just got back from Chipotle and they've got everything there. All the lettuce, all the avocados, and everyone's like, oh, there's shortages. Trust me, there's no shortages. And there was traffic today everywhere. And it's just business as usual here. In fact, I think there's even more opportunities to invest in. And we're continuing to close our current deal and everyone's in, because what this is a buying opportunity. Now, I've said before that I think Dubai is a place that I call anti-fragile. Has anyone ever heard that term? Natalie, have you ever heard? Natalia, have you ever heard that term? Becky? Anti-fragile. It was something that the author Nassim Taleb coined in one of his books. And it means this: if you stress something that's anti-fragile, it gets stronger. That's what it does. And that's what Dubai is like. If you go back to COVID, when the rest of the world was locked down, Dubai opened up faster than anyone else, and everyone moved here because of it. Then you move forward to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The world got stressed again. What happened? Everyone, Russians, Ukrainians, and even others moved to Dubai. Then you have the invasion in Israel on October 7th. What happened? People moved to Dubai. And then in the country I used to call home, in the United Kingdom of London, Labour government came in, they raised taxes. What happened? Everyone moved to Dubai. And this is just another one of those scenarios. When the world is in crisis, ultimately people move here, because it has safety and it has security. And in the long run, I think it's going to usurp Western Europe as the center of the world, this region. And again, I ain't my first rodeo here, all right? I've lived in cities all around the world. I grew up in the United States. I worked in London for 20 years. I've worked in Tokyo and other places. And I've seen how all of the cities and countries are set up. This is where I choose to call home. And I'm still here and I ain't going nowhere. Let's just say that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a lot of value and make a boatload of money for our investors over the next 5, 10, 20 years. And this is the place to be. So I can't wait to share you what I have tonight. I've just cooked up this presentation. I'm actually going to take you live to the property website here in Dubai and show you the size of the transactions going through. It's going to blow your mind. And everything is digitized in Dubai, of course, because you're in Dubai. And so when a property goes through, it has to be immediately put on the land registry and anybody can search it. I'll leave you the URL. You can go look at it. It's called dxbinteract.com. I'll stick it here in the chat. Just so you know, this isn't like some video that I made earlier. I'll stick it here actually in the chat. And of course, if anybody has any questions for me, stick it in the chat. You can go on here and you can see what's transacting. And one of those is a $115 million home that went through just a few days ago that the buyer could have walked away from, right? If they'd have been like, you know what, I want to wait a couple weeks. They were like, no, I want to buy this now because I want to move here and I want to live here. And that's exactly what we're doing with these opportunities. So let me jump into this presentation. Like I said, if you got any questions, stick them in the chat and I'll try to answer those at the end. And here's the headline. Yes, we all know there's war in the Middle East, but Dubai just sold another $115 million penthouse and another $75 million one and a $50 million home and a $40 million home, multiple of these every single day. And so what I'm going to do is show you how we're making 40 to 90% returns on our deals that we're closing literally as we speak. Boom. This was a fantastic video that was put out over the weekend by Faraz Al-Masadi, and he is the founder and CEO of Fam Properties. And he literally pulled up what I'm going to pull up on the screen, and he started circling the prices. Bam, bam, bam. These are what's gone through: a 31,000 square foot house, a 15,000 square foot villa, another 15,000 square foot villa, and the prices. Now, these are in dirhams. If you divide by 5, you get sterling. If you divide by about 3.67, you get dollars. So you can see these are chunky homes, all right? These are very expensive properties. That first one, 422 million, is the $115 million property. And so what happens is the buyers that know, the people that are moving here with their families for the long run, where else in the world are you going to get a zero tax environment? Where else are you going to get in the world you're going to get a zero capital gains? Where else in the world is the government with a 100-year plan trying to make this the greatest place in the world? It's the best place for business, for family, and that's why people continue to move here, despite what you might read on your X feed. Of course, the wealthy can't stop renovating in the Palm. And so again, just recently, someone bought and sold a Palm Villa. Look at the date there, March 6th. This is literally just a few days ago. So these transactions are literally continuing to happen. Within the past 72 hours, these three transactions went through. 122 million, that's 125 million, rounding up with a broker's fee in there. Another $25 million property, another $20 million property. And like I said, I'm going to pull up the website and we can see what else has actually gone through in the meantime. And so people are asking, will the Gulf tensions dent Dubai's luxury property market? And the experts weigh in, and what are they saying? Well, there are concerns that the latest crisis might have put a dent in the perception of the real estate market in Dubai. Experts, however, discredit the entire narrative, saying the structural appeal remains intact. High net worth individuals, they may pause, reassess, or renegotiate, but they rarely exit on emotion alone. Let me repeat that. They rarely exit on emotion alone. Capital at that level, right? It tracks governance strength, policy stability, tax efficiency, and long-term control. And if you ever looked at all the housing crashes, in the last 100-year history, they've all come on the back of something, a major banking failure. That's what happened in the US in 08. A major unemployment jack, which hasn't happened here, right? Or some other type of a major structural issue. It's never from emotion. It's never from a few news headlines. And we're seeing the exact same thing now. Let me pull you up to that website right now, which is called DXB Interact. And I just want to show you some of the things that I'm seeing here. And it'll give you a little bit of a flavor. Again, this is live, and you can go ahead and check this out for yourself later. And of course, only in Dubai would you actually get this, because here they like to have everything digital and everything there is efficient. As you can see on the website here, dxbinteract.com, I'm going to the highest price per square foot here, or the highest price per square foot here. And boom, you can see, oh, that's the highest price per square foot. Let's go to the highest price. Boom, there you go. You can see Armand Residences Tower 2, the exact property, 422 million dirhams, which is $115 million, 31,208 square feet, 6-bedroom. Boom, there it went through, 4th of March. The next one, La Mer South, Jumeirah First, 121 million, 114 million, 98.5 million. These are all transacting in the last 4 or 5 days. Armani Beach Residence, 92 million. Dubai Silicon Oasis, 90 million. And they go on and on and on. These are not cheap properties, okay? This here is a 18 million pound home here. Signature villa at the Frond F Villas in Palm Jumeirah. That's called Billionaires Row, right? These are happening every single day. And so look, we've dealt with press in the past. And if during lockdown, you might have remembered all the different newspapers that basically lied to you, right? The entire news network was lying to you. And what I always teach my students and my investors is I say this: be careful with every piece of news you get, because it has an agenda with it. And so if you look at all the fear mongers out there, they're looking for clicks. They're looking to point you to their agenda, right? Oh, don't invest in Dubai, invest in my country, right? Don't put your money here, put your money here with me. And so when you read one of those headlines, always ask yourself, what's the agenda of who's putting it out? Where is it coming from? What are they looking for? Are they looking for an emotional rise in me? Are they looking to stoke my fear or my anger or my greed, and therefore they're controlling you? So just be careful where you get your news from. And I always analyze where it's actually coming from. Honestly, I don't even watch mainstream media anymore, because it's such a joke at this point. And of course, Pavel Durov, who is the founder of Telegram, and he's a multi-billionaire. I think he's worth 20, 30, 40 billion dollars. He tweeted out last week, unfortunately, I had to leave Dubai for Europe a week ago. So I'm not only missing the free fireworks from Iran, but I'm also exposing myself to greater risk. Look what he's saying. Given Europe's crime rates, Dubai is statistically safer even with missiles flying. Can't wait to be back. And of course, Elon Musk chimes in on the bottom. No country is perfect. Dubai and UAE broadly are objectively safer and better run than many areas in Europe. I spent the last 22 years in London, and I can attest to that. This is by far safer than any other country in the Western Europe or even in the United States. And of course, if you look at what happened, I mean, incredible safety what's going on here. I think 96, 97% of everything that's come over us has been really neutralized by the government, and they're really doing an incredible job. And of course, this is an influencer that was in here recently, and I thought it was important to put this up. And he said, a lot of people don't know this, but India's Bollywood stars, which is kind of their Hollywood, all live in Dubai, as do the Russia's UFC fighters. These are the Ultimate Fighting Championships and all of their teams. European footballers live here. Tech CEOs, AI guys, crypto guys, bankers, the world's richest men and women live here. So why would a country with a $1.3 trillion sovereign wealth fund, skimp on protecting trillions of dollars of value? And they're not. And of course, this was reached out by Tristan Tate. How many people have been killed in Dubai from the bombings in the last year? 0. How many knife attacks in London? 14,500. And so Pavel come in and said, look, it's brave to actually travel to London at that point. There was another really funny picture of an evacuation flight that was sent from the country of Australia. They hired out an entire 747 to evacuate the 24,000 citizens here. I don't know if you saw that now, Natalia. They looked at the plane, right? There were 200 seats in the plane that was sent to evacuate 24,000 Australians. There were 8 people on the plane. 8 people. Everybody else wanted to stay. And it just made everybody look stupid because everyone's talking about evacuation. The truth is, anybody who's lived here is staying. Now, sure, if you visited here on holiday, you want to get home. I get it. But the people that live here are the ones that want to stay. And of course, I love this. This is a letter sent by the Department of Culture and Tourism that was sent to every single hotel in the United Arab Emirates. And it said, in the light of current circumstances, given that some guests have reached their checkout date but are unable to travel for reasons beyond their control, you are kindly requested to extend their stay until they are able to depart. Kindly send all related invoices to us. Pretty cool, right, Becky? Pretty cool. They don't even ask you as a tourist to pay for it, and we'll reimburse you. We know how that works, right? You don't hear from anybody for 90 days. Here they said, send us the invoices and just let them stay for free. This is class, all right? This is why I like being in a place like this. And again, you've seen the closes that are happening here. Folks, on top of that, we've seen record headlines in the last 12 months. 500 sales of homes over $10 million each, more so than any other city in the world. That's Miami, that's New York City, that's LA. 500 of those have happened in this town. This villa was purchased at the Palm for $3 million and was sold 13 months later at $6.5 million. Somebody did 118% return, and this is the exact sector that we're investing in through my property circle, which we'll share with you shortly. Of course, the ultra luxury property market here has surged tenfold in 5 years, 10x in 5 years. Almost impossible to find anything like that. And of course, I am here on the grounds making sure that all of our investors behind the scenes are getting the best deals out there at the lowest prices with the highest returns. And I always like to joke, Becky, that in case this current gig doesn't work out for me, I can always be one of those house models, right? What do you think, Becky? Yeah, Natalia, think I can get the job? Make a few hundred extra bucks. I'm pretty good at that. Folks, before we get started, I just want to say this presentation is for information purposes only, not intended to be investment advice. If you're looking for that, please go find a professional. I also want to give you this free video, which comes at the end of this presentation, which is how to invest in luxury Dubai real estate in 3 easy steps. I'll give you that for free. Just stay with me for about 20, 25 minutes. So who is Brian Rose? Well, a lot of you probably don't know. I spent my first 15 years of my career on Wall Street. I was trading in the capital markets. I was a fixed income derivatives trader for a bank called Bankers Trust. I then went on to work for the First National Bank of Chicago. Then I went to London and worked with the top banks and brokerage firms in the world. And I learned one thing when I was in banking, that the people who made the most money, they weren't the ones with the fancy degrees. They weren't always the richest ones. They were the ones with access to deal flow. The people that knew where the real capital flowed are the ones that made the most money. And when I saw this, I thought to myself, what if I can give you access to the hottest deals on the planet? That's how we're all going to make money together. And that's what I'm here doing. Of course, after I spent most of my 15 years in banking, I decided to quit my job in 2011. And as I tell my two young boys, I became a YouTuber just like them. And so for the last 15 years, I've interviewed over 1,000 of the greatest minds on the planet. We've made 6 documentary films. I ran for mayor of London twice. I've gotten to all sorts of crazy adventures. Our content's been watched over 1 billion times. We've got 5 million subscribers. And we built a massive brand that gives me a lot of leverage here in Dubai to negotiate some of the best deals for you. Of course, the past 5 years, I've been coming to this great country and this great city, and I've really studied this place up close, and I've learned how it ticks and how it works. And now with 1 billion views and 5 million subscribers, I'm able to source deals that you probably never would have even heard about, even if you were here in the city. I don't think you would have. Folks, I've been mentored by some of the greats in real estate over the course of 15 years on my show. This is Grant Cardone. Does anybody know Grant? Becky, you heard of him? Or Natalia? Yeah. Grant's got over $5 billion of real estate under management in America. I met him when he had less than $1 billion. And he's always pushed me to get into property. And I just called him up recently and said, Grant, I finally listened. And he said, good, keep me posted. This is Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote a tiny little book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Anybody read that book? It's an epic read. Go reread it if you have. Natalia knows what I'm talking about. Robert's become a good friend of mine. Over the past 10 years, it's really strange when he texts me on the phone in the morning because he's in Arizona time. And he always told me, Brian, own real assets. Robert owns only 3 things. He owns real estate, gold, and Bitcoin because they're real and they can't be manufactured by some fancy bank in Wall Street, which he doesn't trust, by the way. And so he's been very helpful to me in this scenario. This is a guy named Jim Rickards. He is an OG Wall Streeter, and he wrote a book called Currency Wars. Jim actually runs war games for the United States government and the CIA, but they're financial war games. And he looks at how the banking industry can be attacked. And he's been an incredible mentor to me. And of course, some of you know Dan Pena, the $1 trillion man. Raise your hand if you know him. Natalia, you know this guy. He is a high performance coach that has created about $8 or $9 trillion for his mentees. Here I am at his castle in Scotland, accepting his award to be on his wall of fame, which is with his multi-billion-dollar mentees. And as far as we know, this is the only photo we've ever seen with Dan smiling. So take a screenshot here. Apparently he's trying to get it deleted off the internet. He denies it ever happened. You know, I don't know. Maybe it was me because I was there. But yeah, Dan is known for no nonsense. He also says you got to pull the trigger in life. If you don't take risk and take action, you're going to be left behind with everyone else. He also taught me an important thing when I was younger. He said, Brian, he said, high performance people make decisions based on imperfect information. What does that mean? You know, you can't run every single number on a spreadsheet. You can't check every single deal or you're going to miss that deal flow. Sometimes you've got to go ahead and realize something is hot or it's not, and you've got to pull the trigger. Now, that doesn't mean we don't do our due diligence. That doesn't mean we don't do our research. But at some point, you're going to have to decide, are you going to stay with the pack or are you going to move forward with action? And as they say in Britain, fortune favors the brave. So why Dubai? Why this town? Well, I'm going to tell you why. First of all, it's the #1 destination for global wealth migration. And the next slide I'm going to show you is going to blow your mind, right? It's really going to show you how it's happening. There is a severe shortage here of what they call turnkey luxury supply. What does that mean, Becky? It means you literally walk into your brand new home, you turn the key, you walk in, and it's done, right? Your toothbrush is already in the bathroom. Your furniture by the finest Italian designers is already in the home. Your linens are on your bed, the cutlery's in the kitchen, it's ready to go. On top of that, the concierge is already working on the visas for your chauffeur, Natalia, and your gardener, right? Does that make you feel better? It's done, right? Your kids are already in the best schools. Everything is handled for you. The truth is there's a huge number of people that want to move here and will pay a premium for this service. And that gets us an extra 20, 25% on top of the 30% we're already getting. So we're exploiting an anomaly in the market. And as much as Dubai you associate with bling, the truth is there's a real lack of this high-end luxury supply, and that's where we're jumping in. Look, this market's built for high performance returns. Why? Well, there's zero personal gains tax. Can anybody claim that here? Natalia, Becky, legally at least? Zero personal gain tax, zero capital gains tax, right? There's rapid economic growth and it's full of cash-rich international buyers. This is how we're going to make our money. Folks, this will blow you away. Take a look at this chart here. Last year, 142,000 millionaires changed their country. Why? For a lot of reasons: safety, taxes, etc. Where did most of them come? The single country that had the most emigration was the United Arab Emirates. 9.8 thousand millionaires, countless billionaires, and trillions of dollars worth of assets came here first. Now look all the way to the bottom. What do you see? My former home country of the United Kingdom, 16,500 millionaires, countless billionaires, and Lord knows how many trillions of dollars of capital left that country because of tax regimes, a broken health service, crime. You can now get stabbed in London free of charge. They'll take your mobile phone right out of your hands, right? I kid you not. I know people that walk around with their mobile phones on a piece of rope and string with around their neck because it's going to get snatched, right? And they come here. And I'm here to say this, and mark my words, this is only the beginning. This is not going to turn around. And I feel bad for the United Kingdom, but the truth is that more people are going to leave because the West is broken, all right? And Western Europe, it's done. It's done. It's going to bleed people, all right? The US has a chance. Western Europe has no chance. It's a socialist system built on bad infrastructure and high taxes, and they have no choice. So, what's a luxury transformation project and how are we going to make money with them? Well, it's a targeted upgrade of a premium product. I'm going to show you a case study in about 5 minutes here, and you can really see what I'm talking about. What it is it's designed to match exactly what global buyers want. If you're a billionaire and you're moving to Dubai, the last thing you're going to tell your wife and your kids is, don't worry, honey, I found the perfect place. And in 12 months, when all the dust is settled, it's going to be great to live in. They don't want to hear that. They want it done. It's hard enough to get people to move. And that's exactly what we're providing. And of course, our strategy is going to unlock significant value fast. Why? Quick turnaround times. For me to take an old villa and turn it into a brand new villa, it doesn't take me long, 12 to 14 months, right? And so I can lock in a high performance return and I can do it year after year after year after year. And that is what makes this interesting. And I'm going to show you what that means from a compounding perspective. Folks, 40 to 90% returns, that's what we're talking about here. I want to play for you a video of kind of everything that we're talking about. I also want to show you a little bit of a taste of a show that I'm working on called Dubai Real. Now, I'm making my own reality show, of course, as you do, and this is the intro of it. It's a 4-part reality show that shows me coming here, meeting with all the developers, and actually closing our very first deal inside the property circle. Here's a little taste. Tell me what you think.
History is written by movement. Right now, the largest migration of wealth in modern times is underway, and Dubai is at the center of it. Not by accident, by design. Tax freedom, security, world-class infrastructure. The city isn't just growing, it's accelerating. You can feel it, the momentum, the ambition, the speed. While the West feels stuck in managed decline, Dubai is busy building the future. This city has positioned itself as one of the most dynamic property markets in the world. Built on infrastructure, leadership, and a long-term vision that's actually being executed. If you want exposure to this promising future, real estate is the clearest, most liquid way to express that conviction. And when markets move, luxury real estate moves first. But this is where things get complicated. Because this is a fast market, and not everything that glitters is gold. For every genuine opportunity, there's a shortcut. For every fortune, there's a fugazi. That's why I'm here, on the ground, asking the hard questions, looking for asymmetric returns, doing the work most people never see. My job is simple: to multiply our money, protect our investors, and only position our capital where the upside is real. Because one thing is certain, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And if we manage our risk intelligently, there is a lot of money to be made. This is Dubai Real.
Come on. Isn't that amazing? Are you feeling me, Trudy? Becky? Natalia? You like that? Now, that's just the beginning. There's a whole first episode where I'm meeting all the players. I actually go out to Al Barari, our first investment, and it just keeps going from there. It's pretty cool, and it's something I think you're really going to enjoy going forward. So there you go. That should be out probably in the next 10 days, and then we'll kind of go from there. So just back to the presentation. Again, when I saw 40 to 90% returns as a former Wall Streeter, I knew this was hot, and I knew I had to look into it. And now I've moved here full time in order to take advantage and make sure that our investors make as much money as possible over the next 10 years. Folks, this is that case study that I talked about, and it's quite simple. This is the Palm Jumeirah. This is that man-made island anyone heard about that was made here about 20 years ago. It's quite a phenomenon. You can actually watch a whole YouTube video on how this was created. This is actually made with sand and rocks. There's no concrete in this structure. It's pretty fascinating. But a lot of these villas are now 15 years old, all right? And so this is what we did. We bought an old villa for $7.1 million. We then spent $6.3 million on renovation and permits. Total investment cost, $13.4 million. We sold it 12 months later for $25.9 million. We made a 93.8% return, okay? It's simple. But just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy, all right? There's a lot of ways you can get stuck along the way. You've got to have a great entry price. You have to have a great team because time is of the essence. You really have to move fast. And this is what we're doing in certain neighborhoods around this city. And this is the place to be, folks. $1.1 trillion will be spent here in luxury development, especially in what they call the new luxury wellness real estate over the next 5 years. Also, we saw the Dubai luxury villa resale market, right? People buying and selling a villa that had already been there, hit a high of $3.15 billion in 2025. Cash buyers dominated completed homes. These are people that are moving here. No longer is this city just about speculation and flipping houses. Again, we saw the brand new Palm called Palm Jebel Ali started to move houses for $5 million a pop. This thing isn't even done yet and won't be done for a couple of years. And of course, we now know that Dubai outshines London, Miami, and Phuket when it comes to other cities, when it comes to luxury property. Of course, in addition to the 500 homes that were sold last year for $10 million, we saw another 70 properties worth at least $25 million that were sold. This is the place for ultra luxury. And now we see luxury brands like Bugatti, Mercedes-Benz, and Lamborghini that are building towers here, right? And the penthouse of the Bugatti building just sold for a record $150 million. That's a record in the entire Middle East. Okay, and now we all know, it's pretty obvious, that this area is set for a sustained boom. Our latest deal is one we're super proud of. It's actually in a very green area that's inland a little bit, where all of kind of the celebrities and footballers are moving. It's actually an incredible oasis. You'll see more of it in episode 1 on Dubai Real. And it's where a lot of people choose to live. It reminds me of Colorado. I know that sounds weird, but it does. There's like a stream and a lake and these gorgeous, vegetation. And it's not like somebody just planted a palm tree there. It's like these plants have been there for 20, 30 years. And a lot of the old money here lives there. And it's actually got really good vibes, really good energy, if that makes sense. It's a premium transformation project. There's perfect timing. It's a high demand location. Of course, it's filling up quickly, but we had someone join us over the weekend and we're actually getting them in on this project as well. Folks, I want to talk about my compounding thesis because this is when everything really started to open up for me. And I could really see the future of London Real and all of our investors. If you take our returns and you compound them over the next 5 years, this starts to get really interesting. So our current deal is making 60% returns. Let's call it 50%. that I can give you on average every year for the next 5 years. What happens if you keep reinvesting those profits? Well, it starts to get very interesting. First year, say you put in $100,000, you make $50,000. That's probably more money than you've ever made from any investment in the history of your life. Okay, I worked on Wall Street. Nobody makes 50% returns. Nobody makes 25% returns in a year. It's unheard of, right? So you just did that. But one deal is boring, right? Who wants to make one deal? What if we reinvest that? That means the next deal, you're not going to make 50 grand, you're going to make $75,000. The next year, you're going to make closer to 100,000. By the time we reinvest this capital for 5 years, your original 100,000 is now $759,000. That's compounding. That's a 7.5x plus return. Is that pretty cool? Anybody want those kinds of returns? Natalia, Becky, come on. You have to say yes. It's pretty incredible. And that's my vision. What happens when we go to 10 years? I can show you the number on 10 years. You wouldn't even believe me because it gets so high and so ridiculous. And again, we're looking at things that are absolutely incredible. And I want to play a quick video here just to give you a little bit of a show you as opposed to tell you kind of what I'm doing here. I've got, kind of different videos in different places. And usually I can do a better job of just kind of talking through this and showing you kind of what we're doing. But, we're here to give you something that really is going to take things to the next level. And this is what we're up to.
Dubai real estate is exploding, and the biggest money is being made where almost nobody is looking, in premium luxury transformation projects that have historically delivered 40 to 90% annual returns. That is incredible. For years, these opportunities were locked inside private networks. You never saw them. You never had access until now. I've spent 15 years on Wall Street and 5 years studying Dubai up close. And today, for the first time ever, you can invest directly alongside my team. We have just received a brand new project with real potential for outsized returns. And early allocations always fill fast. Click the link and apply now. Next, you must book your video call with me to complete your application. Make sure you put that video call link into your calendar. Your opportunity starts today.
So that's what we're up to, folks. We're moving pretty fast. And what I'm finding really interesting is I'm seeing lots of other interesting opportunities. I was actually at a developer today who's developing the very first casino in the Arab Emirates. And it's going to be the only casino in like a 1,000-mile radius. And it's going to be exclusive until 2030. And needless to say, the property values are skyrocketing on the back of it. And it's another very interesting deal that we can give you access to. Folks, how does London Real get access to these deals? It's simple. It's not my pretty smile. It's not my fancy suits. It's the fact that we've got a media empire with 1 billion views, 5 million subscribers. When they see us, they know we can bring eyeballs to their deals and bring them more deal flow. And that's how we can get you access to this. Again, I met one of the major developers here this morning. You can see the pictures on my Instagram. And I sat down with the CEO, not an easy meeting to get the first time you go there ever. And he's like, Brian, we want to work with you. Tell me what you need. Tell me how we can structure these transactions for you. And let's build something amazing over the next 10 years. And so I always say success is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. We've been preparing for this moment for the last 15 years, building our community, showing a track record as well. And I'll talk about that shortly. Folks, a lot of you tried to invest in property on your own and probably felt like Drake here on the top. Maybe you had a tough time. Maybe you decided to flip a couple properties and found yourself fixing toilets on a Sunday evening or dealing with a crazy tenant trying to get him out of your house. You know what? I got no time for that. I really don't. What I'm offering you is a way to invest in the Dubai real estate boom, and you don't even have to come here. Although you can come here on April 27th. We've got our Investor Day, and it's going to be amazing. But I'm talking about a super transparent way, and I'll talk about the special purpose vehicle as well later. Folks, it's called the Luxury Property Investment Circle. It's honestly the most successful, hottest product we've ever released in our 15-year history. There are so many people from around the world that have joined and invested with us. It's actually hard to keep up, right? And even after the last 9 days, people are still coming in. They're still investing. They're still booking calls because they know that long term, this is going to be, the next really Switzerland, if you think of it that. And we know Switzerland is not what it used to be in Europe. The best thing to do is go to LondonReal.tv/Dubai, book a call, have a call with one of my team. and we can talk about how to do that. If you get to that website, it's really simple. You put in your first and last name, type in your email and your phone number, give us 10 or 20 words on why you don't want to join the circle, and then I start to research you. All right. I do my due diligence. I try to see how many episodes you've watched. I check all the things about you. I check your credit rating, Margarita. No, I'm just joking. But I see if you've ever come to my events, if you bought my courses, if you watch my movies. And look, I'm looking for London Reelers. That's what I want. I want people that are aligned with our vision for the future. To be honest with you, I'm too old to deal with a bunch of nonsense. So if I don't know you or I think you're trouble, you're out. All I want is for people that are serious, that want to multiply their money over the next 5 to 10 years. Folks, a lot of you know I ran to be mayor of London in 2021 and 2024 because I really fell in love with that city. You know, it really gave me so much. It really did. My children were born there. I named my show after London, for God's sakes, and I thought I could turn that city around. But the truth is that I don't think anyone can turn it around. I just don't think you can. And so I fell in love with Dubai. I moved my studio back here a couple of years ago, and now I film with some of the biggest people on the planet. Members of government, crypto billionaires. They taught me a lot about luxury, where they put their money, and what they want from a real estate perspective. And now we're investing over $3 million into 6 different luxury refurbishment deals this quarter, and you can be involved. Folks, it all starts with London Real Ventures. This is the world's first media-powered investment firm. This has never been done before. No one's ever taken a media company like London Real with 15 years of history, 1 billion views, 5 million followers, and put it together with a venture capital company with 25, 50, $100 million in capital. What you get is synergies you never would have thought imaginable, really. And that's why we have special access to these deals. What you get is what I call magic. This is our portfolio of over 100 different companies. Artificial intelligence, blockchain. Many of these have gone on to become $2, $3, $4 billion protocols since we invested in them. One of those, Skillful AI, which is artificial intelligence on the blockchain. The day this launched, the token was up 20x, and I made a $4 million profit for our investors. This is Shrapnel. It's actually a video game on the blockchain, and we did a 20x in 20 days and made a $5 million profit for our investors. This is Mochaverse. It's the digital ID system of a $7 billion conglomerate called Animoca Brands. Here's their chairman, Yatsu. This one is going much, much higher. And of course, this is one of the biggest deals we did so far. It's called Story Protocol. And we have so far made a $21 million profit for our investors. One of our members named Jose, who's also a member of the Property Circle, put a $50,000 check in this deal, and that's now worth $2 million. One check, 50,000 went to 2 million. And a few of our members did that. And of course, this is the $1 billion fund that we've invested in. We put $1 million into this fund, and he's going to pay us back probably about $7 million on top of it. This is Dan Tapiero, a good friend of mine. He was ranked the single best performing investor in the world last year. And we're actually putting another $1 million into his next fund. Folks, we have a track record of success with London Real Ventures, and we're going to do the exact same thing in property. We've now invested over $25 million into artificial intelligence and blockchain companies. We're going to do the same and much more in property. Folks, I was just voted best venture capitalist of the year. Last year, I accepted this award in Singapore. And yes, Margarita, I actually have a pink suit. You know, I don't know what that says about me. But I also find that the more attention I get, the better deals I get for you. So I always have some type of colorful suit out there, and it does seem to help with the returns. Also, I was given a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Global Family Office Investment Summit for all the incredible returns we have and all of the great media we created. And of course, in Dubai, I'm known as the older guy that gets into the ring and beats up the younger guys. And that's because I took my first fight last year at Crypto Fight Night. You know, these young punk kids, Trudy, they need to be taught some manners sometimes. You know, that sometimes they just don't know what gets into them. So I had to lace it up. I have one fight here in Dubai, one in Singapore, and planning another one in the next couple months. So look, whatever it takes to get us out there, we like to do it. And it actually means better deal flow for us. Folks, how can we maximize our investment returns? It's simple. You listen to the godfather himself, Ray Dalio. Diversification is the holy grail of investing. This is how you make money over time. It's mathematically proven. And this is the typical portfolio of one of our investors. I would never, ever tell you to put all of your money into real estate. No matter how amazing this is, it's just a bad strategy. Most of our investors have about 30% of their net worth in real estate. 20% in crypto, 15% in stocks and equities, 15% in cash, etc. This is mathematically proven to give you better returns in the long run. So diversify. That's what you want to do. I believe the greatest way to predict the future is just to go out there and create it. Does anybody like to live their life that way? Kate, I know you do. Margarita, Natalia. I could be in London right now complaining. And trust me, I know a lot of people in London that are just complaining about the weather, about the Labour government, about the broken health service, about the mayor that I didn't beat, right? Sorry about that. But you know what? I refuse to do that. I'm going to vote with my feet. I'm going to move to a new city and I'm going to create the future that I want for me and my investors, right? And that's what we're doing. We're voting with our feet. Folks, this is Ben Bandari. I was actually just texting him now, and he is the top real estate broker in this city, which says a lot. He's also the star of a reality show called $1 Million Listing. And here he is. It's a reality show for real estate. Isn't that crazy, Natalia? Right? You live long enough, you see the crazy things. And I sat down with him about 3 or 4 months ago, and Ben said, Brian, you've got to do this. And I'm going to get you involved in some of these deals. And I asked Ben a question. I said, Ben, why do you buy? Now, Ben moved here 20 years ago from Toronto. And he made it through all the ups and downs, right? He was there in the '08 crisis. He was there in the COVID crisis. He was there, I think, in 2014 when the price of oil came down. And every single time, Dubai comes out as a winner. And I kept asking him, I'm like, why, Ben? Why do you stay here? Why do you keep going in on this? And this is what he told me.
How did Dubai become one of the top 5 real estate markets in the world?
There's many factors. The safety and the security is next level. You won't find it anywhere in the world. The leadership had a vision to basically attract foreign investment, to bring basically expats here, and to basically expand the culture, the tourism, and the city itself. His Highness, he's just created a marketing machine. And they've done a great job. I mean, I've seen it all right from the beginning, from 2002 up until today. You have to come here, you have to see it, you have to experience it to believe it.
And we're seeing a lot of billionaires and a lot of other high net worth people bring their families here, invest in properties.
There's really no comparison. We have 1,000 families moving to Dubai weekly. Everybody's looking to come here. Everyone's looking to move here because of tax reasons, because of safety, because of security, because they want to park their money somewhere safe as well. There's so many factors. I mean, the list goes on. We can just sit here till tomorrow morning. Everyone moves to Dubai. The money pours in because of the safety, because of the security, because of the stability.
1,000 families a week. I mean, get your head around that, right? 1,000 families a week, and they all need a place to live. And of course, the wealthy ones are going to pay a premium for that ultra luxury. It's great having a guy like Ben in the corner, and we can do that with a show like ours. My takeaways are that Dubai has safety and security. We know that. Even in all these crazy times, it's still a safer place to be than any city in the world, right? It is. Statistically, it just is, right? There were more deaths in a school shooting in America than there was in the last 2 weeks here. And that's just a reality, whether you want to admit that or not. Leadership attracts investment. These leaders have a 100-year plan. I don't know a single politician in the United States that has a 100-year plan. They have a 100-year plan for their stock portfolio, I think. But I ran for mayor of London. I mean, these politicians have a 2-year plan. They want to get reelected, and that's it. They don't really care what happens in the long run because they're not going to be around. There's zero personal taxes. It's a new playground for the wealthy, and that's why we're here. So how do we create outsized returns in real estate? It's simple. It's really simple. It's all about deal flow. Now, trust me, you can invest in real estate in this city and lose all of your money. Trust me. There's somebody here that wants to sell you something that maybe you shouldn't buy. And so I spend all of my time out there trying to find the next greatest project for our investors. Found something today, found something last week, and I've got a whole pipeline for us all to invest in going forward. And I've been coming here for the last 5 years. I've made deep connections with government, with hedge funds, with influencers, with the crypto bros, with everybody. I've been on stage interviewing the biggest names out there. I've premiered our documentary films here in this city, and I've hung out with, 100, what do they call them? Centibillionaires, like this guy CZ, who's worth a couple $100 billion. I know what they like, I know where they live, and I know what they want. Folks, if you want to win in this space, you have to invest with the best. And our media platform are going to get you deals like this. Our current deal is giving us a 60% return. 60. It's just unheard of. It's just unheard of. And there's a point where these numbers probably should sink in because you're not going to see these forever, and you want to take advantage of that. Again, think about the compounding factor. That's what makes this exciting. I'm not offering you a 60% over the next 4 years. You can get in and out of these deals in 12 to 14 months and compound them and really make generational wealth. Once you join, this is our investor portal. You'll go in here, you'll see the deals that are closed, that are open, and you'll say the allocation that you want. You can invest in a deal for as little as $10,000. We try to cap people at $100,000, $150,000 a deal so everyone has room. But in the future, you'll be able to invest even more, $500,000 or $1 million if you want. You've also got to understand the financial tools. We use something called an SPV here. Raise your hand if you know what an SPV is, Becky. Kate, you know, of course. An SPV is a special purpose vehicle. It's basically a corporation that's created for one use only, just for a deal. Once the deal's over, the corporation doesn't need to exist anymore. And what happens is our SPV holds a property inside this standalone legal entity. So owners like you and me, we directly own the asset while we isolate all the risks from our personal wealth. It's a ring-fence structure, provides stronger legal protection, cleaner tax treatment, and easier financing, which helps us in partnerships. And that's how we structure these deals. This is our platform. It runs the SPV. It does the KYC process on you. Once the deal's done, I'm out of it, right? This platform and this investment vehicle runs everything. It pays you the returns. It's all done, separately through a separate financial entity. And we really like this. It helps with the transparency. Final question, folks. How do you create generational wealth? You have to pull the trigger. If you don't get involved in these deals, you're never going to see these returns. I know people with properties in the UK that made 6% last year on their property, right? What's inflation? 4%? You're looking at a whopping 2% return. I know some people that were smart enough to invest in the S&P 500 stock index last year. They made 15%, 1-5. You're leaving 45% on the table if you're not doing something like this. Folks, timing matters, because if you wait, you're going to miss this, right? And that's just the truth. A month from now, things are going to be higher than they were last week. Mark my words, right? This city rebounds like no other. And so this could be a time to run and panic, or it could be a time to go in and make even more money. Again, once our SPVs are filled, we can't expand them. Early investors get priority, obviously. Deals are closing very fast, and once allocations are gone, they are gone. I'm looking for serious investors. That's it. Who want access to deals you would normally never hear about it. I'm not here to teach you theory. I'm not here to sell you a class or a course. I'm here to give you access to incredible deals with unheard of yields, right? At some point, you're going to have to say, wow, Brian, 60% is no joke. It's not 16%, which honestly wouldn't be bad. But this is another level. This is for people who want real assets, not speculation. You want transparency. You want an SPV ring-fence structure, and you want access to real opportunities, which is why I'm here on the ground. Folks, the only way to do that is to apply. It's simple. Go to learnreal.tv/Dubai. You can put your details in, book a call with one of our people here, and boom, you'll be on to us, and we can explain all the details of what happens. It's a private membership program. It's a lifetime of premium opportunities that you can compound year after year. It's a chance for you to build generational wealth. And again, for $10,000 minimum investment, this is unheard of. Again, I've done this before for 4 years. We did this through SPVs and London Real Ventures. I knew this was important because it takes away the last excuse you would have. Oh, Brian, I don't have enough. Yeah, you have $10,000. And so I tried to make this excuse proof. But guess what? I still find excuses, Natalia, because some people, I think, don't believe they deserve success. And honestly, when they see something like this, they find some way to sabotage themselves. And look, I can't control that. All I can do is show you this is an amazing opportunity. I'm doing this. Huge part of our London Real community is doing this. And we're going to make this an incredible, incredible return over the next 10 years. Folks, best thing to do, go to learnreal.tv/Dubai. This is the most powerful money-making opportunity I've ever seen. It's true. I've never seen something that's protected by an underlying house and piece of property that has such a high return with such a low risk profile. I've just never seen it. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm all in. Folks, here's that video I promised you. Go to learnreal.tv/replay. And I'm going to show you how to invest in luxury Dubai real estate in 3 easy steps. So there you go. Folks, if you have any questions for me, please either DM me or put them in the main chat. I kind of engineered this presentation so you don't have any questions, which I think is really good. I've actually got a Calendly booking here that I think I can copy. I hope I can copy. And I'm going to stick it in the main chat. And actually, Trudy, I might make you co-host and maybe you can stick it in there. Yeah. Trudy, if you could stick that in the main chat. And this is how you can book a call directly with one of our members, and they can walk you through all the details. They can also tell you if you've been accepted as well. So I think it's in the main chat. If you put it in the everyone chat, Trudy, I think you can see it. And then you can book a call directly. What was I going to say? Yeah, that's the best step here. Lastly, I guess I'll just say this. I couldn't be more excited about this place. And the other thing was interesting for me to watch the outside perspective of what's happening here versus what's happening here. I've been eating outside under the stars every single day for the last 10 days, and I haven't stopped. I've been outside getting my coffee. I've been walking around. I've been sleeping here. I mean, that's it. And everything is beautiful and everything is fine. Everything's functioning here and everything will function. This place is extremely resilient and it's where people go. I'll say one final thing. I think Dubai is misunderstood by most people. For me, this is like, I hate to say it might sound weird. This is like utopia for me. This is a city full of people trying to make a better life for themselves. This is a city full of hustlers. This is a city that wants their children to grow up in a place. They want to build a business that's not going to be taxed by the government. They want a place that really loves safety and security. And I love that about this place. I don't miss the graffiti of London, Kate. I don't miss the piles of trash along the streets. I don't miss the liquor stores and the strip clubs and all the garbage there. It just doesn't exist here. It's this place where everyone's on the same page. And everyone that moves here calls this their new home. And that's why nobody's leaving. And it's incredible, and now to be completely taken care of and totally protected by the people that run this country, I'm just even more invested in it. I'm even more bullish on the future. And I'm actually excited right now because I think we're going to get even better deals and higher returns for our members. So I think that's it for now, folks. I just really appreciate you being here. I had a bunch of DMs with you. So if you can, just send me a few things. Margarita jumped as well. And I'll send you a WhatsApp message if you have any questions. Book a call with Zach, and I hope we see you on the inside. We have an investor day here, April 27th as well. So come, we'll tour the properties, hang out, and that'll be it. Until then, folks, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody. Thanks.